Amen. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. First and foremost, I'd like to start this lesson by giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us there's 100% truth. Salutations unto the 144,000 doing the truth, honor, and sincerity. And shalom to the 1/3 unto them. It's your brother, I'm Noah Allah, back at you with another video entitled Don't Say We Didn't Warn You. You got the madman on the loose again by the name of Killbait. Alright. And he's talking about digital IDs are an effective tool with his wicked little face. Alright? This decrepit devil. It says digital IDs are set to be the cure for all problems, including poverty, apparently. So they say. It says the philanthropist I almost got caught out there. The philanthropist V Maker has been touting the idea for years. All right, because he's a devil. That's why. Here it is, a post by Killbait. 850 million people lack ID that proves their identity. As a result, they're shut out of a lot of services that could change their lives. That's why I'm excited about MOSIP, an open source technology that could dismantle barriers worldwide. #G20 India. So, and this was back in August 21st, 23, as it says here. But you know, this is how this devil is gonna try and paint this thing like it's all in the name of health, and it has everyone's best interests at heart and all of that stuff. But that couldn't be any further from the truth. So it says, we've already been told that digital IDs will help counter populism and illegal immigration, as well as crime, benefit fraud, terrorism, and even epidemics. Off Guardian reports, but they will help tackle poverty now as well. That's according to a report published a few days ago by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So you've got this one magical device that's just gonna end all of the world's problems and you know, every little thing is gonna be all right. So they say, right? Just don't worry about a thing, right? Look at that, all this wickedness coming out, man. Mass graves of thousands of children killed by Obama's Achrome ring discovered on US soil. It says Barack Obama must be urgently brought to justice, but he won't be brought to justice. Not in this wicked system, at least. He will only be brought to justice when the Lord gets to dealing with him. Let's make that clear. You know, it's just like how with this whole Epstein list, you see how they've made everyone just like forget about it. You know, all of a sudden, it never happened. You know, it's anything but the truth, right? Many times they've just tried to take it out of media, which they've done again, might I add. So, you know, they ain't gonna be no justice, man. Not as long as these devils are ruling. All right. It says digital IDs are an effective tool against poverty. A global solution is making them available to millions. I do love making them available in that sentence, as if the world is full of people desperately crying out for digital ID that the powers that be have been unable to supply, when the truth is literally the exact opposite of that, right? Because you got many people, namely Edomites, because, you know, Jake is just completely off kilter, doesn't know what the hell is going on, can't tell his ass from his elbow, that are seeing through the bullshit, to you know, say it bluntly, man. It says the aim of the report is promoting something they call modular open source identity platform. So that's the MOSIP that uh, Gil Bates was talking about in his post 2 years ago, right? An adaptable modular architecture that any country could customize to meet its specific needs. For the last few years, MOSIP has been trialed in 9 different countries across Africa and Asia. Yeah, the test dummies, with over 90 million people signing up. The report calls it a powerful example of how low and middle income countries can harness open source technology to improve lives and accelerate development. Improve lives for who and accelerate development in whose favor. The developers of MOSIP are so worried about poor people. Oh my gosh, the modular open source identity platform are so worried about poor people in the third world not having any proper identification. Oh no, how unfortunate. These devils, man. That they and their backers at the Gates Foundation and the Omidyar network are giving it away to any country that wants it for free. Now, listen, bro. One thing I've learned, yeah, if anything is free, it's because you're the product, bro. Think about the porn industry. Yeah, you can just type in a website, right? Well, not if you're in the UK anymore, right? And you've just got access to. I can't even say thousands. You've got millions of videos, all different kind of categories, and really, it's destroying you. All right, because I'm not gonna recall this exactly, but I'll kind of say it. Um, I believe it was the Israelis, man. I think when they was fighting against the Palestinians. Now, don't quote me on this, but it's something to this effect. What they was doing, they actually used pornography as a weapon. So it's like, you know how you got your mainstream TV, you got your, in the UK, you got your BBC One, BBC Two, BBC Three, whatever, ITV One, blah blah blah. In America, I don't know, you got Channel One, Channel Two, Channel Three, whatever the case may be. So what was happening is that on those mainstream channels, they was broadcasting pornography across the whole of the opposition. The Israelis were doing that to their opposition, right? And of course, what happened is that it weakened their men because they played on a man's natural desire, and they weaponized it against them, and it weakened their enemies. And that's how that was one of the many ways that was able to gain power over them. All right, so anything that's given for free is because you're the product. Okay, so where was it? Isn't that nice of them? Hmm. But wait, there's more good news. The developers of MOSIP believe very strongly that bloody hell, interoperability is, what the hell is that? Right. Let me search this up, cause you know these Edomites, they use all kind of wild words, bro. You're thinking, what the fuck is that? Okay, it says interoperability is a characteristic of a product or system to work with other products or systems. While this term was initially defined, so like I'm reading it from here. Yeah, let me read it. The ability of computer systems or software to exchange and make use of information. So yeah, that's where your Palantir gets involved. So and this whole, globalist database that they're trying to construct. So this is very, very dark. Uh, wicked stuff, man. Is a fundamental principle of good digital public infrastructure. It's a quote, fundamental principle, you understand, not a method of control. Right. To sum up, the free software being funded by Gil Bates to supply digital IDs to the world, to the third world, will all be based on the same proprietary code and be potentially inter it interoperable. I meant to be good at English, mate. Let's see what this means now. And potentially interoperable, right? So that means of computer systems or software able to exchange and make use of information. So yeah, same thing, just this whole globalist database that be accessible to the powers that be. All right, all to tackle poverty and increase economic participation, or terrorism, or to secure the border, or to protect the environment, or to combat money laundering, or help the unemployed, or to prevent pandemics, or to protect us from artificial intelligence. It depends on where you live. Regional marketing, like Disney, removes black actors from their Chinese posters. There you go, man. So that is this. Yeah, no, is that look like an Israelite woman as well, man. They need that shit, man. They need that shit. But yeah, man, notice even this article was written in a very sarcastic manner, because ultimately that veil of lies is being uncovered, and people ain't buying into Esau Eden's lies anymore, man. You know, people are starting to realize that, you know what, man, this guy must truly be the devil. Hey, as that guy said at the main camp, y'all were right. All the stuff you said 10, 15 years ago, they coming to pass now. Y'all were right. Yeah, well, you got that knowledge now. What are you doing with it, man? You know what I'm saying? You're not just meant to put it in the napkin. Psalm 64, and let's start at 7. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. And that arrow really begins with, the prophets. All right. All the way back in 1969, beginning with Elder Rabbi Abba Bivens, all the way up until now, exposing these devils, man. All right. Because that's that arrow, the arrow of truth, irrefutable truth. And they're wounded. And that's why they're having to move in haste, because Esau Edom no longer has complete control of the narrative. You're now battling against the Hebrew Israelites, which really is the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. Which, when you read Acts chapter 5, it tells you how we can't be overthrown. If this work be of Yahweh Shem Shai, it can't be overthrown. Okay? It says, so shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away, because you've got many whistleblowers that have come out and have, spilled the beans, so to speak, and I let people know that, nah, man, this is far more sinister than what we may imagine. People are waking up to that fact, man, that there's a lot more going on than what meets the eye. You see, but hey, man, us prophets, beginning with our elder apostles, man, we called it first, man. We let you guys know what time it is before we even got to that time. And a lot of you guys just disregarded it, didn't pay no attention, no mind, didn't really think that the words we speak would come to pass. Yet here we are. That's why ultimately, if you're an Israelite in 2025 and you still don't believe, that's your problem, bro. We ain't gonna bend over backwards for you to try and make you see it. This is just what it is, man. All right. Revelation 13 and 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. Yeah, this wicked system that's being set up right before our eyes, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And this is one thing we have to wrap our minds on, man. I ain't watched the video yet, But I saw a title, what's it, the Elder One Gabar from the main camp, entitled something to the effect of, we could, some of us will get our heads chopped off for this truth. And that's something that we have to consider, man. Something we have to bear in mind is that, yeah, it's one thing screaming we got the truth and cursing out these devils and wherever the case may be. But, bro, there could be a day where any of us, it could be me, it could be you, all right? It could be us. We gonna have our heads on that chopping block, and that's gonna be a testament of our faith, man. Getting our heads chopped off for the Lord. But who have known the mind of the Lord? In certain cases, it can be a case where, you got your head on the chopping board, and then, the Lord can come through at the last minute, give you spiritual power, and it's goal time. But we have to prepare our minds for the reality that that's something that we can potentially face. All right, it says, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And if we of the elect, we ain't gonna worship the image of the beast, no matter who takes it, man. You could have a family, wife and kids, like what's his name, Michael Kyle or something like that. I didn't really watch that too tough. I watched it sometimes, but I wasn't there. It's a lot of things I didn't watch when I really think about it. But anyways, that's besides the point. The law can have it to where your wife and kids get the C-hip and you don't. But you're gonna have to still, if you have the elect, the law gonna put the spirit on you to still walk the course. If you have to get your head chopped off, get your head chopped off. But it's about preparing our minds for the possibility, man. Let's not have our heads in the cloud, because these Christians, why they're so comfortable is because they believe in the rapture doctrine, and they believe that during this time of great tribulation, they're just going to be raptured, just somewhere floating in the sky, whilst all hell breaks loose on earth. My dad's guilty of that. He talks about this whole rapture thing, and but when this conversation gets spiritual, and then he's start talking about Jacob's trouble and whatnot, he just say, I don't need to worry about that. I'll be raptured. Really? That's neither here nor there, man. We just got to be grateful the Lord's opened our eyes, man. Verse 16, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their foreheads. And all of these, Apple Pay, Android Pay, whatever, if that's even called that, the wearables, your Apple Watches and all of that. You can pay with your Apple Watch, and the digital IDs now. Like, it's all gradualism, and we know exactly where it's headed, man. And it's towards this C-hip. That's where all roads lead to the MOTB. That's the fundamental point. All roads lead to the MOTB, no matter which way you slice it, man. And a lot of people that say they ain't gonna take it are gonna take it, man. Because during the time of the Crown Vic 19, I heard a lot of people talk about, I ain't gonna take it. No, are you dumb? All of this shit. The moment they find out they can't go on holiday, they can't go to Amsterdam, they can't go to the pub, they can't go to the restaurant, they can't go visit their favorite artist, man. Then it's gonna be well, I can't even say then it's gonna be, then it was, because I'm talking about the Crown Vic. Then it's man, but bro, yeah, that's how people gonna be like with the C-hip, man. People gonna be like, no, I ain't gonna let the government stick no chip up in me. Okay, well, what people don't understand is that, and this is why the scriptures talk about labor not to be rich, because ultimately, if you have a lot of money, a lot of nice possessions in this world and that, and then now you're being presented with the option, well, if you want to maintain this lifestyle or still be able to hold these possessions, you're going to have to take the C hip. You're going to take the C hip. That's why Proverbs 11:4 says, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. And that's the truth, man. Because those riches ultimately is going to lead you down the wrong path. You know, it's going to lead you to give up your integrity for a piece of the pie. Which, you know, the triumphing of the wicked is but for a moment anyway. So it's like you're getting this C hip just to be judged, prophetically speaking or spiritually speaking, like 2 minutes later. What's the fucking point of that? You're dealing with devils talking about you will eat the bugs and you will be happy. So what's the point of getting a C hip? It's not like you're gonna get that C hip and you still gonna be able to go to fine dining and shit, bro. You're gonna be eating bug burger, a shit souffle, like just all kind of madness, bro. All kind of madness. And you gonna have to pay with your C hip, bro. So it's like when you really put things in perspective, you're better off just waiting on Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, where it's promised that, you know, in Isaiah 65:13, my servant shall eat, but ye shall starve, man. Because people like us, you know, Lord willing, be of the elect, we're gonna be completely alienated out of society, man. You see? You know what, man? At this point, you ain't even gotta believe us, man. Do what you want. Do what you want, man. End of the day, it's all man's goings of the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hey, we're just we're just trying to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling, as the scriptures tell us to do. So we can't really be too concerned about you guys that just don't want to get it or just can't get it. Because ultimately the Most High is giving you over to a strong delusion that you may believe a lie. That's in 2 Thessalonians 2. And ultimately you're going to be destroyed because you didn't receive the love of the truth. Okay? Then you've got guys that did receive the love of the truth. You can throw women in there too. And they went back into the world, man. It says your latter end is going to be worse than your beginning, man. And even at that, your judgment is going to be worse than someone who just was never exposed to the truth, full stop. Because it's like, you see the way the Lord works, it's like, bro, you knew better, bro. You knew better, and you still did the wrong thing. Like, the Lord really gonna fuck you up for that, man. Romans 3:3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? Because you've got this ideology out here that, oh yeah, if you just don't believe in the Lord, it's just gonna somehow make the prophecies ineffective. Like, come on, guys, man. You're talking about a God that flooded the whole entire world and only saved 8 souls. And then he you know, we get reminded of that every time we see a rainbow in the sky. Genesis 9, he says he do set a bow in the clouds to mark his covenant that he will he promised he won't destroy the world by water again. However, he didn't say he won't destroy it by fire. Verse 4, and then we can go to 2 Peter 3 to back that. It says, the Most High forbid that the Most High be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged. And we're going to be justified in our sayings, man. Lord willing, overcome when the judgment falls upon these wicked people, man. All right? Yeah, it's 2 Peter 3. 2 Peter 3, and we'll start at 3. The coming day of the Lord. It says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts. And you see that, especially among our people, man. Our people, they just do what they. There's a song. I just do what I wanna, when I wanna, how I wanna. And that's the mindset of people in the world, especially Israelites, man. And saying, where's the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. So they're like, bro, the Lord ain't coming, man. You guys been on the highways and the byways talking this nonsense for how many years, bro? And we still out here prospering in our wickedness, bro. Hang up your boots. That's the mindset of these people in this world, man. All right. For this they willingly are ignorant of that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished. Talking about the days of Noah. But the heavens and the earth which are now by the same word are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. See, reserved unto fire. And you've got World War III brewing up. You've got nuclear weapons. You've got various countries that possess nuclear weapons. All right. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to us. We're not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. And that all is talking about the elect, because the rest of the nation of Israel ain't going to repent. Verse 10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. All right. So this is how this world is going up. Chiefly the land of America, because in this fiery judgment, predominantly it's going to be America and Israel hit. The difference between Israel and America is that Israel will be rebuilt again. Fire is a good cleansing agent, and Israel is filthy right now. So before we can enter into that land, it needs to be cleansed. And then America is just going to be burned away, but burnt to a crisp as a permanent example in our kingdom of the fruits of wickedness, the reward of wickedness. All right. So let's get this real quick. Ezekiel 33 and 33, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet been among them. Excuse me. Just a sudden dryness in my throat. Damn. But yeah, just like that you're alright, dude. You know, he realized, damn, all this time there really was prophets among me then, huh? You know, but for a lot of our people, it's just gonna be too late, man. You know, as they say, too little, too late, and that's just gonna be the reality for a lot of our people, man. All right, I'll close out on this one here. Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. This is why you can't trust Gil Bates. Talking about these digital IDs will really help the world and yada yada yada. No, all it will help is you wicked elites gain more control. Alright, don't be talking that bullshit like you're doing it to serve the people's best interest, because that's anything but the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. So you gonna see this devil for who he is, man. The fucking devil. And it's gonna be it's going to be undeniable that Esau, Edom, is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. And his destruction is going to be seen by all. Revelation 18 goes into that. Okay. So his time is coming, man. All right. And don't say don't say that we didn't warn you, man. I just went back on the StreamYard tab and it was all talking about how the audio wasn't recorded. So I pray it was picked up on this car. Oh, my days, man. This devil, man. But yeah, man. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up here. I pray, Lord willing, it's been edifying. Until the next time, I say shalom.